Yeah. So myself, Girish, again, coming back to my channel, eco-friendly farming. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of humus and the acids it's going to contribute to the soil, like humic acid, fulvic acid, and humin. And yeah, just my friend is still not liking my orchard. So because the background you can see, this is the result of not tilling the soil for 6 years. So though it's looking ugly, but the weeds which have grown, they complete their life cycle, they die there, and they again get decomposed and ultimately becoming humus. So that humus I have already mentioned in my previous video. If I briefly recap of my previous video, I have talked about the development of humus from this massive mulching of organic matter, and then drenching cow urine over that, diluted cow urine, like 1 liter cow urine and 15 liters of water. So drenching of that cow urine over that mulched organic matter. So why? Because definitely that diluted cow urine, definitely it's not going to meet the nutrient requirement of the crop. So it is to feed the microbes. So that's it. Of course, some part of nitrogen in that, like in the form of ammonia or nitrate, and some trace amounts of potassium, phosphorus, and other micronutrients like copper, zinc, magnesium, or manganese, iron. So all these things are all contributed by cow urine, but definitely that is not enough to feed the nutrient demand of the crop, whatever the crop it is. That is to feed them. Adding diluted cow urine is to provide energy to the thriving microbes, soil beneficial native microbes. So, and also have mentioned. So, what are those microbes? Diverse microbes, they thrive in our soil. So, they are the native microbes which have adapted to the local climate and to the soil type of your orchard, and they thrive better than the lab grown microbes, whatever you bring in the packet, like Arca microbial consortia or any other microbial consortia, or trichoderma or pseudomonas. So they thrive very well, and they know your orchard soil, and they know the climate prevailing there. So these all native microbes, they fix atmospheric nitrogen, they separate the phosphorus and potash from the soil particles, and make it available for the root uptake. So apart from this, what is that humus? And before going to that humus, even some are following Subhash Palekar's Krushi. Some farmers are practicing. So you apply Jiwamruta. So Jiwamruta. So those also, what I suggest is, so when you if you are applying Jiwamruta, so also apply cow urine, diluted cow urine to your soil. So because Jivamruta is not a liquid fertilizer, it's a diverse the liquid no, sorry, it's a diverse microbial culture. It's a liquid microbial culture. So of your native soil only. So it's not a liquid fertilizer. So what you do, you just prepare a broth as a starter culture in a drum, and then you just add it to your soil in order to, or with the expectation of multiplying in your orchard soil. So for those microbes to multiply in your soil, they need energy. So they need boost. So for that you apply cow urine. So without any energy, if you apply that starter culture, and no only the lignified carbon organic matter is present, and no nitrogen to build their proteins or enzymes, then they don't thrive in your soil. So you might be under the impression I am adding Jivamruta, and then my crop is going to yield in a better way. So without feeding the working microbes, we cannot expect them to thrive and do the benefit, do the favor for us. So even that's what I suggest. Whoever even applying Jivamruta, not only giving some people, they just apply Jivamruta, and they don't worry much about developing organic carbon in soil. So that is more essential. So developing organic carbon so that they get microbes get energy. So that is one thing, and ultimately it's all to develop the humus in soil. So humus is black gold. So that is what we have to develop ultimately in our orchard. So where suppose if I want to see show you, can you please come here? So yeah, please. Yeah, this is what. So though it's a clay soil, which is by nature it is black, but this is not just a pure clay soil. This is the mix of humus, where the humus is nothing but the carbon stage, where it has reached the stage, organic matter stage, where it is resistant for further decomposition with a very complex carbon bonding, or else the carbon, the organic carbon has got embedded with the soil particles. So that is the stage which is not accessible for microbial decomposition any longer. So that is what the stage the humus is. So I can feel the soil texture, the softness, the porosity in soil, and easily I can grab this much of soil, handful of soil from this surface. So this is what the humus should be. So what happens? So when we develop such humus, so the main intention of doing this is why we don't need to, there won't be any necessity to bring any inputs like many people ask me, shall we bring fish amino acid or humic acid or wormy wash from outside? So earthworms are flourish here. If I dig anywhere here, because this is the result of not tilling the orchard for 6 years. So if I dig anywhere in the orchard to plant anything, any fruit crop or any sapling, anything, for 1 square feet, I find nearly 12 to 15 earthworms. I feel sorry for disturbing them, or one or two might get killed. So many earthworms are there here. So do we need to get a wormy wash from outside? So they are all making here. We can see that saliva when we dig open the soil. So the wormy wash is from that saliva. So naturally it is being produced here. So people ask us, so we have to apply humic acid. So what is that actually? You bring humic acid from outside. That is not, though it is natural, but that is never going to be equivalent to the humic acid which gets leached out from the humus here. So that is made from the brown coal, and to make it in a liquid form, that brown coal is washed in alkaline solution like potassium hydroxide. So that has undergone chemical treatment. Whereas once there is a rain, or if there is any micro irrigation system like this, if we water this and the water falls off from the surface, and it extracts the humic acid from this humus and reaches the root zone. So, and what are the role of humic acid? Like, no, it acts like it brings a change in the soil structure. Suppose if it is a clay soil like this, which is very much tightly bound particles, so it makes the soil porous. So that humic acid or fulvic acid or humin. So then if it is a sandy loam where the sand proportion is more in the soil, it creates soil aggregation which bring the soil particles together, so that the water, the leached water won't go beyond the root zone, won't get washed out beyond the root zone, or won't go to the deep earth. So that brings the soil aggregates, so the all the nutrients washed from the humus are reached to the right spot. So then secondly, like copper or iron or manganese or magnesium, so they get absorbed to the soil surface, soil particles, and they are not available for the root uptake. So these humic acid acts as a chylation, like it acts as a magnet, and it gets absorbed, it absorbs the copper, iron or manganese into the soil solution, into that fluid, and makes it available for the root uptake. And thirdly, this humic acid, the natural humic acid I'm talking about, it acts as a plant hormones. So it encourages the root system or roots to branch out more. So it encourages the roots to produces more root branches with fine roots. And then if there is more branching of roots, then it absorbs more solution, more water, and that reflects in the yield. So we will have more number of bunches, more number of fruits. So that is why. So that is how to make our orchard sustainable. So we have to add more and more organic matter. We have to add more and more organic matter, and to get decomposed in an accelerated rate or in a quick manner, you just add diluted cow urine. So for this video, I hope this much information is enough for today's video, because my first video is very lengthy and I don't want to bore you. So just go for conservation agricultural practices, and follow zero tillage or minimum tillage. In horticultural crops, it's very easy to follow zero tillage, unlike our field crops, where we have to prepare the land for take up the sowing. So we have to till the soil, whereas in horticulture crops that's absolutely not necessary. And secondly, mulching with lot of organic matter. And thirdly, maintaining diversity. So diversity in terms of crops or in terms of weed. So because of this weed, naturally I'm seeing flourishing of both faunal diversity as well. Apart from floral diversity, I'm seeing a faunal diversity, which I wouldn't have imagined that I would see these many creatures in my life. So that is the beauty of conservation agricultural practices. So yeah, I suggest and the microclimate it's going to bring, definitely, if suppose if there are 10 orchards in a village, and that may help in reducing the temperature of that entire village, I hope. And yeah, please subscribe to my channel, Eco Friendly Farming, and press the bell icon. Until then, namaskar.